it is Sierra here, and I am back with another video. Now this video I wanted to do are just 5 things that you can do to improve your skin. Now these are things that as my time as an esthetician, I've noticed when talking to my clients constantly come up. So I think these are things that you can do that are not super expensive, but just basic steps that you can take to help improve your skin. So the first thing I want to talk about is cleansing. So I often run into issues where I find out that people are wearing a lot of makeup, or people will say like, hey, I cleanse at this time and at this time. I tell people, if you go outside, whether you're wearing makeup or not, you need to wash your face, because when you step outside, you're getting all that environmental dirt and all that stuff on your face. You need to wash that off at the end of the day, especially if you have like serums and treatment creams that you want to apply at night. So just a tip I always tell people, a great product to remove makeup are like oil based, so like a cleansing balm. Cleansing oils are really good to remove makeup, and what I like is that they really break down the heavy duty, the waterproof stuff. So like long wear foundations, long wear eyeliner, eyeshadow, I've even found glitter, things like that that are meant to stay. They really help to remove it, because if you don't get all that stuff off, you're really just wasting your products or your cleansers with more active ingredients. They're not able to penetrate. So go ahead and do that step first, and then you can go in and remove, do your second cleanse to remove. Now I say 2 cleanses, but I tell people, if you've worn a lot, you need to do as many cleanses as it takes to get all of it off. So if you do 1 cleanse or 2 cleanses and you tone and you're seeing like brown residue, that means you're not cleansing your skin thoroughly enough. You need to do it maybe a 3rd time to get it all off. And for long nights or nights that I've had like a lot of makeup on, I have had to do that. So I encourage to make sure that your cleansing routine is thorough. Sometimes you need a good cleansing routine. To me, you have 2 cleansers, one for your pre-cleanse and then one for your main cleanse. And I just find that that's effective. And of course you want to adjust considering the time of the year. But yes, that is a great thing to do when you're cleansing, and making sure that you get everything off to prepare your skin for the next steps that you're going to take after your first cleanse. All right. So for our second thing we're going to talk about is going to be exfoliation. Now, when it comes to exfoliation, there's always like 2 types of people. People who don't exfoliate and people who over exfoliate. General rule of thumb is 2 to 3 times a week. And the way I like to do it is, if you're gonna, do the max of the 3 times, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Never do like back to back. I think that's just too much for the skin. So when we get older, our cells are slowing down in the repair time, in their turnover time. They're not turning over as quickly as they used to. So exfoliation is really good at helping the process move along and reminding those cells, hey, we need to turn over. And when it comes to exfoliators, there's so many different types. There's acid exfoliators, enzymes. Those are my favorite. I really love those. Some people use physical exfoliators like scrubs. Those are not my favorite, just because sometimes the beads and who makes them, they're not always rounded and pounded in perfect spheres. They can cause micro cuts in the face. So I tend to lean either toward an acid or an enzyme. Those are usually my 2 favorite. So those are things that are really important to do, and you want to make sure that you are regularly exfoliating. It's a great way, because dry skin or dead skin has a tendency to hang out in fine lines and wrinkles. So when you exfoliate regularly, it can soften the appearance of wrinkles. It can help brighten the complexion, especially if you're somebody who deals with hyperpigmentation. It's a great thing to do. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. If you're, doing that at least 2 to 3 times a week. If you're more on the sensitive side, you can do 2. If you're not, I'd say just do 3 times a week. All right, so for our third step, I want to talk a little bit about consistency, because that's a huge issue for me when dealing with clients. I'll meet a client and I'll ask them their skincare routine, and I'll be like, what are you using? And they'll say, I'm using products A, B, C, and D, and I've been using it for a while. And I'll be like, okay, you have something that you're using. Do you like it? I try to make sure that I'm covering all the bases, that they're happy with what they're using. And if they're not, there's, things that we can upgrade it to. So then I'll see them again in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And next thing I know, they're using something totally different. Their routine has completely changed. They're using something that they have seen on Instagram or YouTube or something, that they're like, oh, I saw this new product that just launched, I want to try it. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. So I often try to tell people that it's so important to be consistent with your skincare. Fads are going to come and go, but good result-driven skincare will last forever. You really want to make sure that you're sticking with the products that you're using, so you can see results, so you can see change in the skin, and also when you switch up products frequently, it can cause irritation and stress in the skin. So I often tell people, the time it takes for your cells to turn over is approximately 3 to 4 weeks. Now that's like healthy, young, I'll say young skin. Anybody after, I guess, I'd say about 20-25, that window, it gets longer and longer in terms of the cells turning over, because it slows down. But that's the time usually it takes to tell if a product is going to work for you. If after a month of consistent use, meaning you use this product for a month, you didn't switch it for something else, because it's like if you don't use it consistently, you swap it for something else, it's like it doesn't matter anymore, because you're not getting a good read on if it worked or not anyway, because you're not sticking with the time frame. So yeah, if you're using it for the full time frame, you haven't like switched it with anything or incorporated anything else, you'll be able to see if it works for you. And I mean, that goes to say, even if it's one product, if you're switching out other things in your routine, it will affect the effectiveness of the whole routine. So if I started with one thing and then I switched out the toner, the results can vary, because you're switching out, different things. I often tell people, try to use everything to its completion, or, until you recognize like, hey, this just isn't working. It's past that window I talked about, that 4 to 6 window, or I'm sorry, 3 to 4 week window, and then go ahead and try something different. And if you've been consistent with all your products, you usually can tell. All right, so for the fourth tip, something that I think people really don't pay attention to that I have found has been a super helpful ingredient is retinol. I think after the age of 25, everybody should be using a retinol. And there are so many amazing over-the-counter retinols. I'm not even going to go into the dermatologist stuff. I'm just saying like over-the-counter. Like I've used Obagi, Image, PCA Skin, they do a retinol, and they're all really awesome. I love retinol because it helps with cell turnover, it helps with pigmentation, it helps with fine lines, wrinkles, it helps with damage. Retinol to me is just the most amazing ingredient ever. And what I love is that due to this amazing skincare technology that we have, is that whether you're sensitive or not, anybody can use it. You just have to find the right formula that works for you. And it can take time, but like I said, it's worth it when you find a great retinol that gives good results. If you guys would like for me to talk a little bit more about retinol, about the different types of retinol, I may consider doing a series, because retinol is just one of those things that's not like one and done. Like, you have to kind of go into detail, but I would be more than willing to talk about retinol. But I think it's just an amazing product. It's good for all skin types, all different skin tones. Anybody can use it. You just have to find the right formulation for you. But yeah, just go get it. So my last thing that can help improve your skin, number 5, is gonna be SPF. SPF is so important, especially now, because we have a very, unstable environment. And in my career, I keep seeing more and more people of deeper skin tones. In the business, we have Fitzpatrick types that go from lightest to deepest. And we're noticing that even the deeper Fitzpatrick types are getting skin cancer. So I know somebody who is, if you know who Idris Elba is, he's a very chocolate toned man. And I know somebody that complexion, and they had to have skin cancer removed from their face, from their thigh. And I just tell people all the time that you have to make sure that you're protecting yourself. When it comes to the sun, you have the UVA and the UVB. UVA stands for age, UVB stands for burn, and the sunscreen is able to protect us against those. So if you want to look youthful for a long time, make sure you're wearing your sunscreen, because what people don't realize is that, the damage that's done by the sun, it doesn't show up right away. It shows up years down the line. So, you hear a lot of women say, man, I turned a certain age and I looked in the mirror and I was like, what is all of this? That's usually the, that sun damage that's starting to show up. Because what happens is sun damage has a great way of breaking down elastin, collagen, all those things that we want to keep our skin firm and tight. So you may notice all of a sudden, like, I feel like my skin just collapsed. So that was all underneath the surface, and it just worked its way up. So yes, please, please, please wear SPF. It's so important. And yeah, so those are my 5 tips that can help to improve your skin. I think that those are pretty basic enough, and those are free. You don't have to go and buy anything. Just, start with that, be consistent, and do your research. That's another bonus one. Do your research. We know that there is a lot on YouTube, Instagram, all sorts of things, all sorts of people who are giving advice that are not necessarily certified. They call themselves experts or specialists. Those are things that you have to be aware of, because these are people that are giving advice that don't necessarily have the full education. So it's so important to really do your research and make sure you're getting information from professionals. So yeah, so that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Ooh, child. Never know where I'm looking at. All right. I had notes. I really should have used the notes that I have, but they're on what I'm filming on. So I wanted to come on and do a really quick, stop saying quick, because it's not going to be quick. I was so